Hi, it's James Willoughby, and welcome back to What's Happening in Austin Real Estate, where every week we check out what is happened the week before. And we are now in December of 2024. Just got through the Thanksgiving holiday. Hope you had a lot of fun. You can definitely see the holiday affected the demand this week. However, we had way fewer listings go on the market. So, surprisingly to some, but not necessarily to me, our inventory has actually gone down quite a bit. So we just went under 10,000 listings for the first time in, well, gosh, all the way since April of this year. So we're under 10,000 listings. When we pull back, you can see the red graph here is last year's listings, and you can see we're diving quickly towards about the same inventory we had last year, by the end of the year. So we'll see what happens. My prediction, I've been telling people, we'll end up with about 8,000 to 8,500 listings on January 1st, which is going to be higher than what we started out with last year, which was about 8,000. Or let's say last year, I'm really talking about this year and the year before. Last year, pretty similar. So they were very, very close. We definitely had a good spring this year. We remained with a low inventory, up until March. And the year before, we had low inventory, really through May. So the difference between this year and last year was the gap in inventory, and that was primarily driven by interest rates going back up. So let's look at what else happened. I had mentioned that we had fewer sales, but we still had over 550 new pending sales last week versus new listings of just over 300. So that made a big difference in terms of what is actually on the market. So we dropped under 10,000. This gap here was part of it. And then the rest of it are these expired listings. So an expired or withdrawn listing is where the agreement ran out on the realtor and, presumably the seller is not going back on the market, or the seller purposely pulled back. Now, when we look at the graph here, you see how there's a little jump, right here 2 weeks ago. Really what we saw was people pulling off the market before Thanksgiving. And then this is the end of the month where a lot of listings expire. And about the same number of listings expired this month as the same time last year. But if you pull back, you can see in December, the red graph going way, way, way up there to almost 700 withdrawn listings. That was the end of December last year, and that's where we get a big market reset. When you lose 700 listings in presumably 1 or 2 days, or at least 1 week is what we're showing here, that's when the inventory changes dramatically, which is good for sellers. Now, because of the fewer home sales, it may, this jump here in terms of our absorption rate, jumping way back to 18 weeks, is to be expected. Remember, this is just a 1 week snapshot, and this was a holiday week that we're looking at here. And I suspect if we pull back, you can see how we had the same spike. They don't necessarily line up because there's not 48 weeks in a year. Otherwise, these would line up perfectly. But this was last Thanksgiving, and this was this Thanksgiving week. So you could see immediately last year, inventory pulled back down to about 14 weeks of inventory. And then, of course, Christmas and New Year's week both went back up. And I expect the graph to look very much the same. So rates hedged down just a hair this week. The ad out there amongst the buyers is pretty good. We're actually seeing higher buyer activity right now, hopefully translating into more pendings this week and this month. We will update you next week. You have a good one. Enjoy and take care.